I was found with pantyhose in my office. It all started innocently enough. A hidden pair of pantyhose tucked away under my trousers, but when my boss, Jessica, stumbled upon them, it set off a chain of events that would turn my life upside down in ways I never saw coming. I never imagined that something as simple as a hidden passion for cross-dressing could unravel everything. By day, I was Samuel, the high-powered businessman, meticulously keeping up appearances. But at night, I indulged in my secret, slipping into pantyhose and enjoying the quiet freedom of being someone else. That is, until one fateful day when Jessica walked into my office unexpectedly. There I was, sitting at my desk, trying to remain calm as the fabric clung to my legs beneath my suit. I could feel her eyes on me, a mixture of surprise and something else in them. My heart raced as I tried to pretend nothing was out of the ordinary. But Jessica wasn't fooled. Without a word, she gestured for me to follow her to her office. I tried to mask my fear with a nervous laugh, but I knew this wasn't going to end well. Jessica had always been intimidating, with a confidence that seemed to tower over me. As she leaned back in her chair, her eyes never left me. Well, Samuel, she said, her voice dripping with amusement. Looks like you've got a little secret. I stumbled over my words, but she interrupted me.
Save it.
I know exactly what's going on, and I think we can strike a deal. Her gaze was sharp, unyielding. A deal? I asked cautiously. She leaned forward, her eyes narrowing with a calculating gleam. I want you to be my personal assistant. And in exchange, her voice trailed off, leaving the implications hanging in the air. I won't expose you to the whole company. I froze, panic flooding my chest. The thought of my secret being broadcast to my colleagues was terrifying. But becoming Jessica's personal assistant? It felt like an impossible choice. What does being your assistant involve? Asked, dreading the answer. Jessica smiled, her tone playful but firm. For one, you'll be dressing more appropriately. More feminine, I'd say. She paused for a moment, letting her words sink in. And you'll handle some personal tasks for me? I hesitated, my heart pounding. And if I refuse? Jessica's smile disappeared. Her gaze turned cold, a stark contrast to the warmth she had displayed just moments before. Let's just say, I hold quite a bit of power around here. You really don't want to cross me. The weight of her words was crushing. I had no choice. Okay, I said, barely able to find my voice. I'll do it. I'll be your assistant. Jessica's smile returned, but it wasn't comforting.
Good.
We'll start tomorrow. And Samuel, you might want to reconsider your outfit for our little arrangement. The next morning, I arrived at the office, dread settling in my stomach like a rock. I had spent all night thinking about how to avoid this fate, but no solution came. When I walked into Jessica's office, the stares from my colleagues felt like daggers. The rumors had already spread, and I knew things would never be the same again. Jessica was already at her desk, but she didn't look up when I entered. Samuel, she said, glancing up with a smirk. Right on time. I nodded, trying to suppress the nervous tremor in my hands. I'm here. Jessica's eyes scanned me critically. That won't do, she said with a frown. What's wrong with my clothes? I asked, feeling self-conscious under her gaze. She pointed at my shoes. Those are too masculine, and your pants are too loose. We need to make sure we show off your figure. My face flushed with embarrassment. I'm not sure if I can do that, I stammered, trying to find some way out. Jessica's hand landed gently on my shoulder, a reassuring touch that did little to ease my growing panic. Samuel, you agreed to be my assistant.
This is part of the job, she said.
I've got something for you to change into. Go to the bathroom down the hall and hurry back. We've got work to do. I took a deep breath and nodded, trying to steady my nerves. As I walked to the bathroom, every step felt heavier than the last. Inside, I changed into the outfit Jessica had provided. A short, tight dress, high heels, and makeup. The transformation felt surreal, and with each new addition, I felt more exposed, more vulnerable.
But I didn't know how to back out now.
When I returned to Jessica's office, she gave me a nod of approval. Much better, she said, inspecting me like I was some sort of prize. You look stunning, Samuel. I couldn't hide my discomfort, the dress clinging to my body in ways that made me feel both alien and self-conscious. Can we get started? I asked, my voice shaky with unease. Jessica didn't respond immediately, her eyes lingering on my body before she finally nodded. We worked through the day, but I couldn't shake the feeling that she was watching me more than she was paying attention to the tasks at hand. I caught her eyeing my chest more than once, and I instinctively crossed my arms, trying to shield myself. You're enjoying this, aren't you, Samuel? She remarked casually, her voice light. My face burned with humiliation. Jessica pointed at my crotch, and I quickly turned away, mortified. Her laugh echoed through the room, and she walked over to me, placing a hand on my shoulder again, this time more soothing than mocking. Relax, Samuel, she said gently. It's perfectly normal to feel this way, especially when it's your first time in a dress. I shrugged off her hand and took a step back, my discomfort palpable. Can we just focus on the work? I asked, my voice laced with anxiety. Jessica raised an eyebrow, but didn't press the matter further. The rest of the day passed in a haze of awkwardness and unease. My thoughts were consumed by the dress, the way it clung to me, and the weight of my secret, now in Jessica's hands. I couldn't focus on anything else. All I could think about was how everything had changed and how I had no idea what was going to happen next. As the hours wore on, the weight of my coworkers' gazes became more unbearable. Whispers buzzed around me, the sound of muffled laughter punctuating the air as some openly stared. Every rustle of fabric seemed to amplify their scrutiny, making me feel exposed in ways I had never imagined. I tried to block out the murmurs and giggles, focusing on my work, but their presence lingered, impossible to ignore. By the end of the day, Jessica dismissed me with a brief wave, her tone as cold as ice. You can go now, Samuel, she said, without a trace of warmth. Relief surged through me, and I rushed toward the exit. But even as I hurried to the parking lot, I could feel the weight of their gazes following me, a lingering reminder of how differently things had unfolded. The next morning, I awoke with a heavy heart, dreading the thought of donning another dress. As I prepared for work, I caught my reflection in the mirror, searching for a way out. But no matter how I turned it over in my mind, escape felt impossible. Walking into the office, the familiar weight of their eyes settled on me, though today, there was an edge to the tension that hadn't been there before. It was like the calm before a storm. Sure enough, the moment I entered Jessica's office, I felt it. Her mood was sour, her gaze sharp. Good morning, Jessica, I said, my voice betraying my unease. She glared at me, her words cutting through the air like a knife. Don't good morning me, Samuel. You're late. I checked my watch. I was a minute late. Sorry, I mumbled, trying to keep my composure. I won't be late again. Jessica shook her head dismissively. It better not happen again. And as for yesterday, she fixed me with a penetrating stare.
I saw the way you were looking at me.
You need to remember your place. You're my assistant, not my equal. Her words stung, but I kept quiet. Yes, Jessica, I muttered, my voice barely above a whisper. Her demeanor softened slightly, though her tone remained firm. All right, let's get to work, she said, gesturing to the pile of paperwork on her desk. I need you to type this up for me. As I sat down to type, I could feel Jessica's eyes on me, a constant pressure that made it hard to concentrate. But then, something unexpected happened. When I handed her the report, she smiled, a genuine, rare smile.
Good job, Samuel, she said.
You're getting the hang of this. For the first time in days, a sense of relief washed over me. Maybe things weren't as bad as they seemed. That night, I sat alone in my apartment, the TV flickering in the background as I lost myself in thought. The past few days had been a blur, and I was left unsure of where to go from here. On one hand, I had always enjoyed cross-dressing. It was what had led me to this point. But now, in this work environment, it felt like too much. The attention, the whispers, the stares, they were becoming suffocating. I opened my phone and hesitated before texting Jessica. After a moment, I typed, "Hey Jessica, it's Samuel.
Can we talk?
Maybe at your place." She replied almost instantly, "Sure, come over now." My heart raced, and I quickly changed into a dress before heading to her house. When I arrived, she greeted me with a smile and led me inside. We sat down, and Jessica looked at me, waiting for me to speak. "I don't know how much longer I can handle this," I admitted, my voice shaky. "The attention at work is too much. I don't think I can keep doing this." Jessica raised an eyebrow, her expression unreadable. "What exactly are you saying, Samuel?" Tears welled up in my eyes. "I love cross-dressing, but the way people treat me at work, it's too much. I don't know how much longer I can keep going." She leaned forward, her hand resting gently on my knee. "Samuel, listen to me. What you're doing isn't wrong. It's their problem, not yours. You just need to be true to yourself." I wiped my eyes, feeling a little lighter. "But what do I do?" Jessica smiled reassuringly. "You do what makes you happy. If anyone has an issue with it, they can come talk to me." Her words hit me harder than I expected. For the first time in days, I felt understood, truly understood. "Thank you, Jessica," I whispered, my voice thick with emotion. "I don't know what I'd do without you." "Of course, Samuel," she said warmly. "I've got your back." We sat together in silence for a while, and I could feel the weight lifting off my shoulders. Then, unexpectedly, Jessica leaned in and kissed me softly. I was taken aback at first, but then I responded, the warmth of the kiss spreading through me. When she pulled back, she was smiling, her eyes alight with something deeper. "I've wanted to do that for a while," she admitted, her voice low. I smiled back, my heart pounding. There was something about her, something that made me feel accepted in a way I never had before. But confusion tugged at me. She was my boss, my superior. How could I think about her this way? Before I could say anything, Jessica placed a finger to my lips, silencing my thoughts. "No need to say anything, Samuel," she whispered. "Just let yourself feel." Her kiss came again, deeper this time, and all my confusion melted away. Perhaps this was a new path, one I never expected but found myself eager to follow. When we pulled back, Jessica smiled at me. "So, how do you feel?" I took a deep breath, feeling both excited and uncertain.
I don't know," I confessed.
"This is all new." "That's okay," she said gently, her hand on my shoulder. "We can take things slow. I'm here for you, Samuel." Tears of gratitude filled my eyes as I whispered, "Thank you." She kissed me again, and this time I felt a sense of peace settle within me. Maybe everything was going to be okay after all.